Hello, in this video we are going to start this project. So I'm in a new scene. Whenever we start a new project, it's a good idea to create a project. So go to File, Project Window, and click New. Navigate to where you want your project to be. And we're going to do floating island. And did for his first video. Since I do this a lot for my classes, make accept. First thing I like to do is, after that, is save. So save scene as, and it floating period 4 digits, so 0001.ma. So I do it that format so that I can do version up whenever I need to. It likes that kind of setup. See, it automatically goes to 2 when I do increment save. Okay, so now I need to save my image into source images. Okay, so I saved that image into source images, and now I want to put my image plane in here. Whenever you are looking at your art, you need to think about if this is a orthographic image, so flat, does not have perspective to it, or if it has perspective. And this has perspective to it. So we need to create a perspective camera. Let's go back here. And to do that, we can go up to Panels, Perspective, New. And then I'll just rename this Render Cam. And you'll see it on the bottom that it says Render Cam. Sometimes you have to get in and out of the current camera. It doesn't like it when you're in the camera and renaming it at the same time. Okay, so I made render camera. Now let's do our image plane. So view, image plane, import image, floating island, and this should take you directly to your source images folder in your project. Hit open, and there we are. Okay, so the top of these islands are perfectly, they're not perfectly round, but they are circles on top. I designed this with cylinders so that I could make sure that this is correct in perspective. At least these pieces are. So what I'll do is we need to figure out the camera angle and placement so that we can use this render cam as our baseline, so we can model with this. So I'm gonna go to the create polygon, and let's just put a cylinder in, and I'll just scale it up a little bit since this is like an island, so it's bigger. All right, so something to consider. So let me do something real quick. I'm just going to change the color of this so that you understand the surface shader. Change the color of this top. You guys don't have to do this part, but I wanted to demonstrate something. So you have to have an understanding of perspective usually to match a camera's perspective. So you understand how this works is when I'm looking directly down, it is a perfect circle, right? And then when I start painting around this, see how this circle is squeezing and becoming more shallow? It's becoming more an oval. So until it gets very thin. That same kind of thing we need to do on here. So I'm basically using this red, just placing it over here. We can use this x-ray to see through it. See how I am doing something like this. So that's pretty close, right? the thing is, a lot of times I'll see, actually let's move it over a little bit like this. There we go. Sometimes I'll see students do the top part. So they'll get the top part, but not the bottom part like this. Or like they make it not shallow enough, and they need to make it shallow enough. Otherwise, your model's going to feel very skewed. So we need this to be flat like that. So something like this. And then once I have this, I'll lock my camera, and you can lock your camera by just clicking that. And we might not be ready. I mean, we can always unlock this, but sometimes we're adding in these big chunks of our geometry, so we're kind of blocking it out so that we we're trying to get these big forms down without doing a ton of modeling, so that we can make adjustments quickly. So there is one. So I'm going to duplicate this. Usually move on to the second biggest thing. So you go from biggest to the smallest. Let's move this. And move that, move it up. And then I'm also going to be looking at my perspective camera. Let's pull that down, change this to perspective. So you'll notice the distance between here. And when we look at the art, there is a board, a 2x4 or something like some kind of wood that is connected between these. So we kind of want to bring this up so that that works. Then I'm moving this, and then this probably needs to move forward. So I'm looking at both of these. See how now the distance length, the space is better. So I'm just moving this forward. Now I'm going to look at this. I think this needs to be scaled again. This. So that is feeling much better. Okay. The next thing I would do is this piece here, the 2x4. So to create a cube, because that will help tell us if things are working correctly. So it's like thin, long. So something like this, and then rotate it. Okay. Move it all up there. And this got too much. This needs to go up. That. Take these, move it down. So then I have something like this. And that kind of makes sense. And looking at this too, I'm like, does that make sense with what I have here? And it does. So that is a good stopping point for this video. Try to get to this where it makes sense. And that'll make everything else kind of work a little bit better. All right, thanks.